Welcome to Gamage. Faxosh is back, and today we're rating the 10 worst bosses in the Assassin's Creed games. This time we're looking at the cases where the big baddie at the end of the mission was disappointing, frustrating, or just not very fun, evolved from a particularly complex level where you just had to get to the right point for a takedown to an arena-style hack-and-slash-fest. Both have pros and cons, but as long as the bosses have a name and are the main objective, whether you subscribe to them, hidden belating the like button and leave a nice comment so you don't miss any more. Like these corpses have no boots. Galen. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You're on the wrong side of the giant wall, friend. I'm sure you've heard the expression set yourself up for failure. Well, Galen excels at that expression. Don't expect this jerk to test your mettle. When you break down the door to his hut, you find him standing in a hole like hello. Of course, he's surrounded by numerous explosive fire pots as his line of sight is blocked. You can also perform a stealth attack that wipes out most of his health before the fight begins. When you reach the Honor Has Two Corners quest, you'll be many hours into the experience. The man really wanted to go out with a bang. The fool could have talked. Turn my own knights against me. We mentioned it in the worst missions in Assassin's Creed, so I have to say it again here. Seabrand is found on the back of a boat. Everything seems fine and dandy. After all, this boss gives you the option to choose how to approach him. The problem is that Master Assassin Altair missed swimming lessons and dies instantly when he touches the water. When you approach him, you have to move through the sporadically placed posts that will kill you even if you don't time it right, and take you all the way back to the part of the mission where you have to do the arbitrary combination of staying undetected while slowly hopping from pillar to post to avoid a misstep. Is just annoying, and I've said it before that it needs fine-tuning to this day. You caused quite an uproar. Rodrigo Borgia. Assassin's Creed 2. You can't, it's my destiny. I love this boss or hate it, but I think it needs to be mentioned here. The fight with Rodrigo is narratively influential and has great preparation for Ezio's eventual clash with the Eden-wielding figurehead, but it ends with you laboriously doing a fistfight with the Pope, which is objectively that is a bit silly. You can also miss the dialogue if you land a solid hit, so sometimes it's best to put the controller away to hear the banter, which you never really want in a climatic boss fight, although I'm pretty sure no one has ever lost this fight. Ezio has the upper hand the whole time, and the Pope doesn't exactly pull out a tombstone piledriver. We players didn't really want the ringside slam when we finally cornered the head of the Borgias, and for better or worse this boss will be remembered. Just maybe not for the right reasons. Laureano Therese. Assassin's Grade 4 Black Flag. Captain, can we ever splinter in my side? Edward's story draws to a close as you confront the Governor and Grand Master, joined by his gaggle of goons. As far as combat goes, this is merely another group of low. The catch is that Torres keeps altering the environment with force fields, using ancient magic. Ultimately, your goal is to reach the right spot to perform an assassination, but that's a bit confusing at the moment, as he blocks himself from most angles, which kills any tension as you first mop the floor with the jobbers and then mop the floor with the jobbers and have to slowly climb across the room, racking your brains for exactly how to reach him while he stands perfectly still like every other NPC chasing Lee. Assassin's Creed 3 isn't a traditional boss fight. The final encounter with Charles Lee is cinematically epic. But besides that, there are silly requirements to achieve 100 sync and lock during the parkour fight. Connor mustn't take any damage, be more than 50 meters away, and not collide with anyone. Yes, a single push means you failed at accurately recreating the story, and I haven't even mentioned the explosive barrels popping up everywhere seemingly for no reason. As one of the last missions in the game, this left us feeling bitter even though it was an interesting change of pace for a boss. The idea was spot on, but the execution was more frustrating than it needed to be. They patched the entire chase to reduce the difficulty of certain jumps, but the damage for most was already done, and you resist because no one else is going to be the Beast of the Hills, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and a raging drunk. Now that we've moved to the open world in the series, assassins have to contend with the biggest beasts their environment has to offer, and although the number of enemy types has increased, this newer style of combat hasn't quite caught on yet, as seen here in this dungeon with a colossal, drunken bear that's able to kill you with a few powerful blows and heals completely, which means that if you're not high level enough, you'll probably waste half an hour of your life until you accept that you can't out-heal him. But where this boss really shines are the bugs that occasionally allow the beast to hit you while you're standing behind him or even from a distance. Also, the animations can be very unclear. It can be difficult to tell if the bear is healing or just standing still, which can lead to perceived unfair hits, with the icing on the cake that numerous players have reported that the bear can spawn within the terrain of the hill, making its prey unreachable. It feels like Like you're fighting the game code itself and not the boss. Grace Bear must have fallen in the middle of the barrel. The Storm Fortress Assassin's Creed Road, the last legendary ship fight, and this one is a blast. Despite its size, it'll always move at a perceived 10 times faster speed than, so if you don't find a magic area to hide in his blind spot, he'll sink you in seconds. No exaggeration, this is largely due to the unlimited infinite mortar fire that can spread incendiary damage on impact. Then there are the two legendary. If they choose to heckle you without damaging the other, the remaining legend becomes far more aggressive and tries to ruin your night. It just seems to break all conventions of any other ship combat by having the deadliest features at once, as the Storm Fortress is a level 99 ship and along with its friends acts as an obstacle between countless players and 100% co-op. Assassin's Creed Origins. The little boy has grown up. A new Magi has defeated this 3-foot-tall guy in an honorable fight by beating him into the dirt. It sounds like an average fist fight mission at first, but someone downloaded a copy of The Matrix into Animus and this guy got a hold of it. Cobb will take 10 minutes of your life while he jumps backwards every second to dodge all your attacks, and when he reaches maximum distance he can perform an attack that wipes out at least half of your life points, while your punches, if they land, will only scrape away tiny bits of his. Without them it'll be hard to maintain the life advantage. After all, that's how it controls, as if you're both hitting underwater, and whether you just find it boring or frustrating, you have to admit that killing me just wasn't fun. Number 2. The Witch Assassin's Creed Bloodlines. My claws, God grants me the first Assassin's Creed game on the Sony PSP also contains one of the series' most broken bosses of all time. This mysterious woman lurks in a subterranean dungeon full of mist, testing everything to decompose your condition as she strings together attacks until you're dead, though most of the time you have no idea where she's, as she retreats into the mist to heal herself, summons goons that distract and damage you, and then unleashes an unblockable special attack that ensures your first attempts are guaranteed to go nowhere. And it wouldn't be the perfect annoying boss if she didn't also throw shit at you when you're far enough away and stay out of range of your throwing knives so you can't do the same to her. Let's just say Altair's last words to her were a little nicer than ours would have been. Caledonian Boar. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. What is the problem? A creature beyond the mind of mortals lays claim to these grounds. You have been warned. You who already know that it's one thing to fight a wild oracle in a sightless dungeon, it's a whole other insane experience to get your butt kicked by a gang of fuzzy pigs on the land. Wild boars and Odyssey were designed to dwarf mythical monstrosities to the confusion of players. These pigs are tremendously difficult in every way, including landing speed, heavy damage, and a relentless way of watching you perish. It's incredibly difficult to predict their attacks, just like any other soldier, and you'll probably find yourself swearing off these creatures before the questline is over. Gamage facts and subscribe to the bell to be informed about our latest videos.